What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another video now. Today, a new story has kind of emerged out of nowhere, and that's that 33-year-old centre-back David Luiz's contract is actually set to run out this summer. Now, when he signed for the club last season from Chelsea, all the rumours and reports were that David Luiz had signed a 2-year contract at Arsenal. But reports have emerged today that it was a 1-year contract with a 1-year option. Arsenal had the option to extend it by another year. And that option is supposed to be triggered by June the 30th this year. If the club want to extend it for another year. Now, you know, it's June in the coming days, and the club apparently have not even spoken to him about negotiating or extending that deal. So it's an interesting one. I mean, David Luiz, for me, when we signed him, I know a lot of fans were not particularly happy at Arsenal signing somebody from a rival at an age where, you know, he's probably past his best, deemed surplus to requirements last summer by Frank Lampard. And, you know, Arsenal went and picked him up. The reality is, if we're going to speak in facts, David Luiz has been our best centre-back this season, arguably our best defender this season, along with probably Saka at left-back. David Luiz, who definitely made a shaky start to his time at Arsenal, made a few mistakes, as the other centre-backs did. I think has certainly improved massively since Arteta has come in. I would say he's our best ball-playing centre-back on the ball. I think his range of passing is better than most players at the club, not just the defenders. Now, I understand people would probably say, you know, David Luiz isn't good enough, and I understand that. But judging him in amongst the defenders that we've got, I would have liked to have seen David Luiz kept on for another year. Now, you've got to look at it. You know, Pablo Mari, I think Arsenal will probably sign him on a permanent deal. He's never played in the Premier League. It will take him time to settle. Apart from, obviously, the game that he played for us this season against West Ham. You've got Saliba coming in next season. He's a very big potential prospect, but he is only 19, and you do need some experienced heads around. Now, to me, looking at the centre-backs that we've got, I think David Luiz is better than Socrates. You know, I think Socrates is definitely past it now, and I will be looking to move him on. This report came out yesterday from David Ornstein that the club were looking to shift Rob Holding, Mustafi and Socrates. He never mentioned David Luiz. My thought process behind this is that the club are probably looking at it and thinking, Pablo Mari probably coming in, Saliba coming in. I think they are targeting one more. You know, it'd be great if we could get maybe an Upamecano. I think they're looking at it and thinking, we will struggle to sell Socrates and sell Mustafi, you know, average players on big wages. Clubs are not really in the market this summer for spending big money. Would you spend 15, 20 million on Mustafi? Probably not. So they may be looking at it and going, although we don't really want Luiz to go, you know, David Luiz is on £120,000 a week. And the club are definitely keen on reducing the wage bill this summer. And maybe they're looking at it and saying, you know, David Luiz, he's probably the best of a bad bunch. That's what I would call him. I think he's better than Chambers, better than Socrates. I would actually say David Luiz is probably our best centre-back. Pablo Mari is the only one I don't really put into that equation, as I haven't seen enough of him. So that's my only thought process. I would be looking to keep him for one more year. Because if you're going to keep young players like Holding, Saliba, these type of guys, you do need a couple of experienced heads. And I think he's better than Socrates and better than Mustafi. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you think. This story has come out of nowhere. Do we just cut our losses now and say, you know what, David Luiz, he isn't really good enough for the standard we want to get to. Let him go now, save 120 grand off the wage bill, and we move on? Or do you look at how I look at it and think, you know, he's better than Socrates, I think he's better than Chambers, I think he's our best centre-back, if I'm honest. And, you know, keep him for one more year, extend the contract and get rid of a few others. You know, Mustafi you could get 10 or 15 million for, possibly. You know, on the hype, he's had a good 6 months, he's a German international, you might get 12, 14 million for him. Socrates, for me, is completely finished. You know, I'd take 4 or 5 million for Socrates. I really don't rate him at all. Chambers injured for a few more months. So for me, David Luiz I would keep for 1 more year. Look, I'm not overly massively disappointed if we let David Luiz go. You know, he's not going to be at the club long term in the future. He's got a year left. I'm sure the club won't extend if they do give him that extra year. But I would probably keep him as backup for 1 more year as experience, and I do think he's very good on the ball. And I'm told, and everything I've read is that he's been a big character in the dressing room, and that, you know, he's got, you know, shown very good leadership skills. I'm told he was the main person organising the pay cut that the players took when this COVID-19 broke out. I do think he's very good on the ball. Anyone who goes to watch Arsenal or watches on TV, he's by far the best passer of a ball in our defence, possibly at the club. I'm not even exaggerating. Particularly his long passing is outstanding. So let's see what happens. Let me know what you think. David Luiz, do we just let him go now, or would you give him 1 more year and keep him as a squad player? Everyone stay safe. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out my interviews. I've done did one the other day with Deluded Gooner, brilliant one there, and a brilliant one with Robbie as well from AFTV. Check those videos out. Everyone stay safe, and I'll be back later in the week. Bless.